Oh, another day, another Democratic debate for the 2020 presidential nomination. A debate that no one watched, but I suffered through, so you could get a few giggles. It was lucky number 3 of 12 scheduled debates, and you would think the third time's a charm. But not for these Democrats. Now that the debate structure has whittled itself to a whopping 10 people, it has become How to Lose 2020 in 10 Candidates. I'm Katie Petrick, and this is Healthy Republic. Oh yes, my friends, the suffering continued on Thursday night in Houston, Texas, for listening to the Democratic candidates for the 2020 presidential election. Since I'm an optimist, I'll say at least I only had to watch one night of insanity this time. Only one night of my life was wasted away picking my jaw up off the floor from can't believing the sheer dumbness that came out of their mouths. So let's look at what they said. But first, as always, we must start with the hype to the show as the candidates prepare themselves in the green room for the prime time.
You're beautiful. It's gonna be my pitch, my account, my campaign. This is my baby.
To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
Sorry, that last one was from the wrong movie, I understand, but you know I had to include the clip. Back to it. There were 10 candidates on stage, marking the first time Blundering Biden, Socialist McPudding, and Pocahontas Clinton 2.0 took the stage together. Per the Democratic National Committee's more stringent guidelines to make access to the stage, those polling at nothing and those who also have relatively no money because, no one wants to give to them any money, they were left at home. So naturally, they are claiming to be victims. But who did make the stage? Let's look at the field of who qualified for about the only thing that they can say they are qualified for. We had 7 men and 3 women. Although I predict at least one will come out so bravely to claim they are gender non-binary before this whole darn thing is over. There were 6 white people, and that includes the home state's Robert O'Rourke, who goes by Beto to sound ethnic, as well as Elizabeth Warren, who in her dream catcher pretends to be Cherokee Indian. Now let's count the millionaires. According to Forbes' August report, at least 8 of them are worth $1 million. But they are the victims, and they are fighting for you, the little people. Just remember that. Which leads to the most important question. How many socialists were on stage?
You're guessing. All right, here's the answer.
10. The answer is 10. Don't believe me? Listen to what they said.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
Every teacher in America makes at least $60,000 a year.
Expand legal immigration and create a pathway to citizenship for our dreamers, but also for their grandparents and for their cousins, for people who overstayed student visas, and for people who came here to work in the fields.
Is not only have universal pre-K, we will make public colleges and universities and HBCUs debt-free.
If I am president of the United States, we will create an office in the White House to deal with the problem of white supremacy and hate crimes.
We are going to cancel all student debt in this country.
This is what we saw all night long. As expected, everything they said boiled down to the same thing.
Drama, drama, drama.
They couldn't help themselves. One of them has to come out of this with the nomination, so they must crawl over one another to make it happen.
Keep busting your butt. You're gonna get there.
This debate was Biden's opportunity to take aim at Elizabeth Warren, who would finally sit at the big kids' table, and Bernie, with flailing hands and phlegm in tow, who could keep spouting on his socialist Medicare for all nonsense. This was supposed to be the 3 senile amigos going at it. But it was one of those Gen Xers who was the most dramatic. Julian Castro, whose twin brother Joaquin likes to dox people on Twitter, decided to go for elder abuse.
You just said that. You just said that 2 minutes ago. You just said 2 minutes ago that they would have to buy in. You said they would have to buy in.
If she qualifies for
Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Did you forget your manners, Mr. Castro? Joe Biden is a septuagenarian, and it is possible he forgot which city he was in. He did certainly forget what decade he's in with this comment about raising children.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
And right there, Joe thought to himself,
Nah, look, it's not something I'm proud of. Obviously, if I could do it over again, I'd do some things differently,
You know, the youngins in the audience at Texas Southern University immediately looked up on their little tweet machines, what is a record player? But then again, They didn't really care because they were distracted by all the talk of free everything. And there were plenty more weird references throughout the night, particularly movie references.
You know that movie The Day After Tomorrow? It's today.
March of the Dagnab Penguins, for crying out loud.
He reminds me of that guy in The Wizard of Oz. You know, when you pull back the curtain, it's a really small dude.
Houston, we have a problem.
That one was too on the nose there, Amy. Anyway, as expected, the team of 10 had plenty of dishonesty to go around all night long.
The only honest man in this place is Uncle Arnold, who's asleep.
Here's just one little taste of that absurdity.
We didn't lock people up in cages. We didn't separate families. We didn't do all of those things.
Democrats and Republicans alike voted to build a wall that has produced thousands of deaths of people trying to cross to join family or to work a job.
We need to work on every front on climate change. It is the threat to every living thing on this planet, and we are running out of time. Every time the scientists go back, they say we have less and less time than we thought we had.
If any of you have been to Los Angeles 20 years ago, you'll remember that sky was brown. You go there now, the sky is blue, and you know why?
You heard me. I said bull.
Kamalama Ding Dong may be correct in that in LA the sky is blue, but the streets are brown with feces in line with used drug syringes. So her point is, what's the word?
Bullshit.
Of this entire thing, I, of course, had to wait until the end of it to get any semblance of truth. And it's not what the Democrats were thinking. An oxymoron, I know. The final question of the night asked each candidate to discuss their most serious professional setback and to talk about resilience. Biden was up first and was almost immediately interrupted by protesters.
There's things that are important, things that are unimportant.
Joe was about to discuss his family and his loss of his wife and daughter in a car accident. Those left-wing protesters thought it wise to yell that they were in favor of DACA and against ICE. Right at that moment, they proved again that civility on the left is long gone. But as the rest of the candidates followed with their answers, it became ever so clear that America truly is a great country. The answers by those on stage included Elizabeth Warren saying you can overcome and get ahead. Kamala Harris talked about running for political positions when she was told not to, and then winning. And then Pete Buttigieg talked about his coming out as a gay man and how he still won re-election. All of this shows that those candidates are the privileged ones because they live here. America is still the land of opportunities and you can achieve your dreams. But they won't see it that way. They'll just say that we are the racist, sexist, no good, horrible, very bad country. Because if they saw it any other way, they would not be calling themselves Democrats. And that's how the Dems will lose in 2020 with 10 candidates. Until next time, stay healthy, America.